Leala Cyr is fast becoming one of the most sought-after jazz vocalists of her generation. A rare double threat, Cyr complements her impeccable vocals with a warm, golden tone on the trumpet. As a member of the Esperanza Spalding's Radio Music and Chamber Music Societies, she has performed around the world and has appeared on The Late Show, The Tonight Show, The View, The Daily Show, Jimmy Kimmel's Live, and Austin's City Limits, and many, many more. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome with me Miss Leala Cyr.
Hi, Mark.
Hello.
Thank you for having me.
Gosh, it's wonderful to have you here, live in the studio.
Yes, in person.
We've been listening to your music quite often lately, and it's good to see you. And you're going to be performing tonight at the Packing House in Wellington. Gosh, so let me just start off with a couple simple questions, and then we'll give everybody a taste of the magical wonder that you create. I have to say that I really love the cover of your first album, First Instinct. Do each of the photos represent parts of you, of who you are, and different roles of who you are?
Yes, exactly. And I'm glad that you were able to read that. But yes, as you can see from the cover, I think the one that most represents me is that one there with the popcorn.
Watching a Packers game?
Yes, I am originally from outside Green Bay, Wisconsin. So, you know, it's in my blood. My blood runs green and gold. There's not much I can do about that. The second, the second me is a mom. That's actually not my kid in the picture because I didn't have my kid yet, but I was about 5 months pregnant in those photos. Yeah. So that's my friend's kid, but now I have two little ones of my own. They are 4.5 and 1.5. So, I've got my work cut out for me. And of course, there's the musician me. And I lived in New York City for about 10 years. And to make sure my music could keep adrift, I had to do some cater waiting. You know, I worked for one of the top catering companies in the city, so I was still able to be on the scene, which was very cool. Movie premieres. I worked at Jazz at Lincoln Center a lot. Oh, yes. So it was really cool in that way because I still felt like I was around arts and music.
You get to do a lot of networking that way too?
Yeah, kind of. You'd be surprised how many musicians and actors and people who work in that industry there. It's because it's very flexible job, and it can be very fun actually, and you get to eat good food.
There you go.
Yeah. And then the last me, of course, is me out on the town drinking my Cosmo in the city. Sex in the City, all that jazz.
And speaking of jazz, I'm pretty much a lot of your music is classified as jazz. But I noticed that in Bandcamp, you listed Brazilian jazz, right? Mm-hmm. Can you tell us a little bit about what makes that different?
Well, it's a lot of straight eighth feel, a lot of grooves, and I was lucky enough to be surrounded by that in my college career. My ex-husband happens to be Brazilian, and I will give him that. He gave me Brazilian music, so I was able to work with him a lot and learn a lot. I learned some Portuguese. I've been to Brazil many times. I've worked with a lot of Brazilian artists. Actually, on my album, a couple of the songs are with an artist. His name is Ginga, really amazing composer. I've worked with Milton Nascimento. So I've been very lucky to be surrounded by that kind of music because it's just, I think anyone who hears Brazilian music is going to love it. The chords are complex, but also easy for the ear, and it makes you want to move. The groove makes you want to move. Or make you samba. So a lot of the music on my album kind of dips into that kind of those grooves and those Latin grooves and in the straight feel. There's not really much swing on the album. It's more contemporary, if that's what you think of that. That's kind of what the album mostly is.
Mm-hmm. Is that something you've gravitated more after school, or did you start taking an interest in that when you were at Berkeley College?
I think a lot of it was at Berkeley because I was surrounded by contemporary music.
Mm-hmm.
There was heavy metal. There was, you could be a DJ. I mean, it was just everything and anything that I was surrounded by. So it was more than just the big band or the vocal jazz program. So that's when I really started hearing all these different sounds and meeting all these different people from all over the world. That was the best thing about Berkeley, was meeting people from Japan, from Brazil, it was really incredible. There was actually few Americans there, you had to kind of search them out. So that was really great. And a lot of the teachers too, they've traveled the world or are from different parts of the world. So it was really great in that respect.
Excellent. Is there a song on First Instinct that we could play that kind of reflects that Brazilian style?
Can I look at it
Yep.
real quick? Let's see. I mean, if we really want to be like Brazilian, number 3 is one of the songs that I do with Ginga. It's kind of like a choro. So it's kind of like classic Brazil, early Brazil, with guitars, and the cavaquinho is like a tiny guitar, So that's definitely very Brazilian.
Excellent.
Yeah. So if you want to play that one.
I do.
It's not one of my originals, but it's one of Ginga's originals, and it's really fantastic.
All right, here we go. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Paul and Diane with Acousticool, one-of-a-kind live music in Bristol, Connecticut.
And you're listening to Something Different with Mark E. Ramone.
But it's cool, and we're cool, everything's cool.
90.1 WECS, Something Different. That's Leala Cyr with...
I'll say it for you.
Please say it for me. Whoop, let me put your mic on here.
It's called G Chavado.
Oh, yes, you definitely
Yes.
did say it. I
Yes.
mean,
Not easy.
G Chavado?
G Chavado.
Very cool. That was beautiful. Yeah. So that was a reflective of Brazilian style, you're saying. Very cool. I noticed that you are credited with the production as well as writing the music and the lyrics on this album, with all the exception of 2 songs. I was telling you off the air. I owe an apology to Mark Sherry, who is the executive director of the New Music Alliance. He played your song "Give Me" on the New Music Alliance radio hour a few weeks ago, and I'm like, Mark, I don't think you should have played that. That's a standard. It's not an original song from a Western New England artist, and I stand corrected. So,
like I said, it makes me very happy because that's exactly what I was going for. I wanted to sound like the standard.
It's so classic. It just...
And when I wrote that song, I was actually thinking of one of my favorite, probably top singers, was Nat King Cole. You could probably see that just kind of like around the album as well, because he was kind of the first jazz singer I was kind of like, introduced to through his daughter. My family is not really musical really at all, especially jazz. Like, what's jazz? And my parents are kind of like, oh, you do jazz? Well, okay. Like, great. I'm glad you're doing well doing jazz. But my mom had one cassette tape of Natalie Cole's Unforgettable album. And I remember her playing it in the car and loving it and just asking her to play it over and over and over. And then, of course, later realizing, oh, this is really Nat King Cole, his daughter's singing it. So that's really what brought me into, that was my first love, was that. So that's that song was written for Nat to sing, if you can imagine that. So that's exactly what I was going for.
That's probably why I'm
classic.
feeling that, because anything Nat did was standard and classic. You mentioned earlier that you have children. I imagine that they are very fortunate to get a bedtime story and lullaby at the end of the night every day, right?
It's actually funny because if my husband happened to be listening, he's like, "No, she never sings to them. She never sings." And actually, like when I try to, and it's so funny but not funny. My son, she's like, "No, don't sing, Mama, don't sing," and I'm like, "Why not? Why won't you let me?" You know, my daughter is a little, she'll give me a little time, but after a minute, she's like, no, I don't want it. It's like, fine then. You're going to regret this when you're older.
Yeah.
I can definitely, my daughter definitely has this, she's going to be able to sing, I think. My son, he's more rhythm and motion, like my husband. So I think the two of them together with their powers combined,
Wonder Twins. Is your husband a musician or?
Yes and no. He's more of a writer. When we met, it was through music. He had a band called The Broken Robots. I'm not going to suggest that for the radio because it's very explicit.
It sounds cool though.
Which is hilarious. If you knew him, you wouldn't believe that was him. You just would not, So I met that guy and I was like, okay. And then when I actually talked to him like a person, I was like, wow, this guy isn't crazy. He's very normal and he's very smart and an intelligent guy and very sweet. But that's how we met. I was playing trumpet and doing some singing in the Broken Robots band, which was mostly improvised kind of craziness. And he would do kind of spoken word performance art kind of over the top of it. Kind of Frank Zappa, Talking Heads, kind of Tom Waits sort of ish kind of mixed together.
Nice.
And the live shows would always be super fun because he would do things like planting someone in the crowd and he'd be dancing and pretending, knock over their drink. And, so it was really fun. It was a let loose after my divorce, so he came along at the right time.
Is there videos of this on YouTube? We can look
I
up
think there's
Broken
a few.
Robots?
Yes,
Cool.
the Broken Robots.
I'm going to check that out. You said you're going to do one song for us live, right?
I can.
Is it the one, are you going to be doing any scat?
Yes.
Oh, cool. I figured you might. You want to wait and do that later, or do you want to do it now?
I can do it now. Let me take a swig of water, man.
Oh, yeah. You're listening to 90.1 WECS, something different.
Mona Lisa, Mona Lisa, men have named you. You're so like the lady with the mystic smile. Is it only 'cause you're lonely they have blamed you for that Mona Lisa strangeness in your smile? Do you smile to tempt a lover, Mona Lisa? Or is this your way to hide a broken heart? Many dreams have been brought to your doorstep. They just lie there and they die there. Are you warm? Are you real, Mona Lisa? Or just a cold and lonely, lovely work of art? blamed you. You're so like a lady with a mystic smile. Is it only 'cause you're lonely they have blamed you for that Mona Lisa strangeness in your smile? Do you smile to tempt the lover, Mona Lisa? Or is this your way to hide a broken heart? Many dreams have been brought to your doorstep. They just lie there and they die there. Are you warm? Are you real, Mona Lisa? Or just a cold and lonely, lovely work of art? Or just a cold and lonely, lovely work of art? Or just a cold and lonely, lovely work of art? Thank you.
That is amazing. Oh, I feel so lucky to listen. Is that Mona Lisa, Nat King Cole, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is. Mm-hmm.
Took a chance on that one. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
So yeah, that would all make sense.
Mm-hmm. And that's also, I mean, it's me playing, a hand groove, but it's a Brazilian feel. That's why I'm like, I really wanted to do this song because it's so beautiful. But I was like, trying to think how, because I like, if I do take a standard, I want to make it something different, something new. And I was like, well, what can I do with it? And I was like, well, the melody is just so beautiful on its own. And then I was like, what if I just do it by myself? And I was forced to learn some hand percussion when I was touring with Esperanza Spalding. So I'm like, okay, well, I can do that and sing. Let's see how it works. And voila. Yeah. And that was that.
Excellent choice. You are listening to 90.1 WECS, Something Different. I'm here with Leala Cyr, and we're going to take a short break and be right back after this message.
Hi, this is Paul and Diane with Acousticool, one-of-a-kind live music in Bristol, Connecticut.
And you're listening to Something Different with Mark E. Ramone.
But it's cool, and we're cool, everything's cool.
90.1 WECS, Something Different. And you just heard something different. You heard Leala Cyr doing her version of Mona Lisa. And yeah, do you, I was actually going to ask you that. Is there something different you would like to do next? Maybe a different style of music or another interpretation like you just did for Mona Lisa?
Well, I think one of my favorite compositions of mine, it was actually one of my first Instinct was my very first one, but I think one of the ones I'm most proud of is The Secret. It was really fun to write. It's in 5/4, so it's like an odd meter, but it's also got this straight feel. And my guitarist came up with a great intro and ending, and they really brought the song together, my group. So I'm going to say that one. And this one was actually, I wrote a lot of this music when I first moved to New York City, actually. And I was actually living with Esperanza Spalding and my ex-husband at the time, and he was on tour with her. So they were gone a lot. And I had just moved to the city. I didn't know anybody. And I was like, what do I do? And I kind of forced myself to sit at the piano and write music, which I really hadn't done much of before, believe it or not. And I happened to be reading this book called The Secret. And it basically was about, putting good energy out into the universe and having it come back to you, kind of trifold. And this is what became of reading that book and sitting at that piano.
Oh, cool.
It's called The Secret.
Hi, this is Paul and Diane with Acousticool, one-of-a-kind live music in Bristol, Connecticut.
And you're listening to Something Different with Mark E. Ramone.
But it's cool, and we're cool, everything's cool.
Secret by Leala Cyr here on 90.1 WECS. WECS is a community service of Eastern Connecticut State University. And it's a ghost town here at Eastern Connecticut State University right now. Big graduation tomorrow. Tomorrow, congratulations to all the graduates at Eastern and all the hard work you put in. Now go out in the world and make some changes.
Yeah.
Leala, so you have performed, not by yourself, but you have performed in front of a crowd of 100,000 people, I hear.
I did.
Was that a life-changing experience?
Yeah, it really was. Just to kind of see people for so far, and it's just like in your soul, like it was really incredible.
An intense like energy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
Mm-hmm. That was in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, at the Rock in Rio festival. It's like
cool.
one of the biggest festivals probably in the world. And I was actually performing with Esperanza and this Brazilian artist Milton Nascimento. So he's like a legend there. So they all knew the songs. That was one thing I've never experienced. Maybe someday I'll be performing and people will be singing along. But that was a really incredible feeling, just to feel that love, and
Yes.
they knew every word. It was really great. And it was in the rain, no less.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
I'll see if there's a video for that. I bet that's a magical moment. So you're performing tonight at the Packing House in Wellington on Route 32, River Road, and you're not going to be by yourself. So you want to tell us a little bit about your band? Did
Sure.
you assemble this band like the Avengers, like Tony Stark?
Oh yeah, and we
And
all
you
come
assembled
together
this-
and combat evil, with jazz. Yeah, I moved to the Connecticut area about 5 years ago, when I was pregnant with my first, from New York City. So it was kind of a big move, and I was kind of wondering how I would step into this scene, if they would be welcoming. And luckily, I have been welcomed with open arms, and have been able to meet some really incredible musicians in the state. There's a lot of great music programs. There's the Hart School of Music. I mean, there's WestCon. There's so many, and music is alive and well here. So I was able to meet these musicians that I'm playing with tonight. On piano, I have Jen Allen, really fantastic, and she's a great composer. I can't wait to play with her, because usually I tend to choose guitar, because that's what I kind of played with through college, and that's kind of what's been in my ear. So it's really fun and interesting to be playing my music with piano. It gives it a whole new life. And then on the drums is Ben Bellello. He's really great too, and he teaches all over the place. He's like the sweetest guy. He's so down to earth, and he's got a son of his own. So we like to joke. Well, actually, everybody's a parent. We all get along really well. I think because we have kids. And we really understand what's involved having music, having kids. Having work. And then on the bass, I have Will Goebel, who is also kind of new to the scene here. I believe his wife works at Yale, so that's kind of what brought him here. He's kind of been all over too. So it's been really great working with this it's kind of a newish group. I've been playing with Ben for a long time, but like Jen and Will are kind of like newish. I like to dabble here and there, and kind of hear what other musicians can bring to the table.
That's great. You can learn from each other.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, I think you hit it on the nose earlier when the Western New England is quite a hub for great original music.
Yes.
And that leads a good segue right into the New Music Alliance Radio Hour, which will be coming up in about less than 20 minutes away at the top of the hour. The latest installment of the New Music Alliance Radio Hour, show 201. That you can hear it right here. And that show has played Leala Cyr's music more than once, let me tell you. And there will be more, I'm sure. I'm sure there'll be lots more. So, yeah, tonight at the Packing House, Usually around 7 o'clock, right?
It's at 7:30.
7:30. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And bring your own food and beverages, and get ready, settle in for a night of wonderful entertainment.
Yeah, make a night of it. I like to hang too. It's kind of a nice hang. Come say hi.
Yeah. Go
Give me a glass of wine.
Yeah. Bring an extra glass for Leala. You're also playing coming up in New London, right? Or no, Mystic Seaport Museum on the 27th of May.
Yeah, I'm singing with the New London Big Band.
With New London
Yeah.
Big Band. Oh, cool. I haven't heard of them.
Oh, they're
I bet
really
they're
great.
local.
Yep, they're out of New London.
Cool. And then on June 4th, with Allegra Levy at JCC West Hartford.
Yeah, she's from West Hartford. She lives in the city, and she just wrote a children's album.
Oh, cool.
She's a new mom as well, and I'll be playing a little trumpet on that. So that'll be really fun. I can bring my kids.
Yeah, you're giving me leads here for the next new Music Alliance Radio
There you
Hour.
go.
All these new artists to Connecticut. And then, I love this. The 25th of June, Mapleview Farm Brewery. I love that place in Granby.
Oh, you've been.
Oh, yeah.
I live steps away. I can walk there from my home.
That's a cool place. For live music, trivia they do sometimes. It's just I love being on a brew farm. The whole concept of making beer on a place where it's a farm, it just makes so much sense.
Yeah, and it's like a big cycle. All the spent wheat goes to the pigs, and it's just like this whole circle. And we bring our food scraps there.
Oh,
so
cool.
we do that once a week. Go over there. Oh, maybe I'll have a beer. I'm here.
And I've had cooked a sausage right there.
Oh, you did?
Over the fire. It was
Don't
wonderful.
tell my son he feeds those pigs.
Oh. So you're keeping busy. Well, that's great.
Yeah, I can't believe it. It makes me very happy.
Is there anything you want to do next? Or I asked you that. What kind of?
Well, I mean, you said you liked Give Me, which is a great song, or we can go totally instrumental and do Canyon View.
Let's do them both.
Okay, that sounds like a great idea.
Let's do Canyon View, which is number
6.
6. And then we will, if you're playing along at home and you have your own copy of First Instinct by Leala Cyr, we're going to track number 6. And we'll be right back.
Hi, this is Paul and Diane with Acousticool, one-of-a-kind live music in Bristol, Connecticut.
And you're listening to Something Different with Mark E. Ramone.
But it's cool, and we're cool, and everything's cool.
90.1 WECS, Something Different. And that is Leala Cyr with
Canyon View.
Canyon View. And if you tune into YouTube, you might catch the bonus track explanation of that song. Leala was just telling me a beautiful story about how she wrote that song and the story behind it. And I realized, we're still recording the video, even though we're not on the air.
You have to go there to see.
Yeah. All righty. So performing tonight with a bunch of friends at the Packing House in Wellington. It's an awesome place. Get down there. The show is at 7:30. Bring your own food and beverage, and just enjoy yourself. Listen to some great music and have a great time. So Leala Cyr, thank you for coming down to the studio.
Definitely.
We're
It's been
not
a good time.
We've got a few minutes left. I want to play a
Okay.
game. If you're willing to
all
play a
right.
game, it's called Lyrical Ponderings.
Okay.
I'm gonna go slow because a lot of people, I don't know. So basically, I'm gonna give you a song title. You can tell me who sang the song, or you can answer. It's gonna be in the form of a question. So if you can't tell me who sang the song, you have to answer the question.
Okay.
All right. We'll go slow. Give me a number between 1 and 200.
72.
72. Oh. When will I see you again?
Yeah.
Hopefully tonight at the packing house. Oh no,
Me.
that's if you don't know.
Oh man.
You don't know
Put
who
me on
sang
the
that?
spot now.
That was the 3 Degrees in 1974.
Wow.
That
I wasn't born yet. Give me a break.
I thought it was somebody else. Okay, maybe I don't know. So I got it wrong. So yeah, you have to answer the question.
What question?
When will I see you again?
Oh. Okay. Maybe I don't know. Maybe you'll see me tonight at 7:30 at the packing house.
There you go.
You know? Yeah, that's when you'll see me again, right? Everybody out there? Yeah? Okay, great.
Leala, thank you so much for coming down. You're amazing, and I can't wait to hear more music and new music down the road.
Yes,
from
I'm
you.
trying. It's happening. We're going to premiere a new song tonight that my husband and I wrote. So come and listen.
Awesome.
Come check it out. Let me know if it's good or bad. If it's bad, it's his side of it.
All right. Well, we're going to leave with one last song that I really love. This is Leala Cyr with Give Me. Give Me.
Mm-hmm.
I should probably talk into the microphone. There we go.
This one I actually started writing when I was sitting on the edge of the Grand Canyon.
Oh, wow.
Hmm. We visited. My mom used to live in Las Vegas, so we went to the Grand Canyon, and this was like the last stop of the night, and we were watching the sunset. Like we were literally sitting on the edge, like our feet. There's like no. I don't know if you've been there, but there's like not really any railings.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're just sitting on the edge, and I was just watching probably one of the vultures like flying in through the canyon, and then this.
It's a beautiful image in my head.
Yeah,
Huh.
and it's that kind of started playing in my head. I was even like, oh, let's. And he's like, okay, we're on the edge. Like I'm like, yeah, but remember this melody, do 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 do. You know, and that's what it is. The trumpet and the saxophone is supposed to be like the bird flying through the canyon, calling out, and then it's like kind of like an echo. Really, is what.
Man, I wish this was on the air. Right? Oh, wait.